mà chất năng bằng sông cương chiến rạch nhạc lên xa mà khi cùng đất nia sông cương bom ra ca bia Campuchia mai cầm rực nia tiêm tia sập sẽ đây ai kể riêng bờ na tiêm áp thấp bờ tay mai bờ xây đô bờ đánh thay rẽ xa mình oi bờ tinh chìm biến một đua ta sông bạc đồn ta thâm thiên triệt Khmer rèn áp tinh rèn bom lư Campuchia Khmer ai thêm kia đông xoay pa nhà nhiều bài sẽ tinh sông cung ăn hồng xa sẽ quạt lại la chi đẹp hiếm rùng rương đầy dương tu dương khô khó dương Khmer trong lan sông cung chiến khai ra nào ở trong câu âm lại chung đôi chia đang bay Campuchia rung rung xem san chơi vô con nặng phải sông câu chiên mà chất cái năng bằng sông câu chiên rạch nhạc mây miên xa mà khi cùng đất nia sông cồn bom ra ca bia Campuchia mai cầm rực nia tiêm tia sập sẽ đây ai kể riêng bờ na tiêm áp thấp bờ tay mai bờ xây đô bờ đánh thay rẽ xa mình oi bờ tinh chìm biến một đua ta sông bạc đồn ta thâm thiên triệt Khmer rèn áp tinh rèn bom lư Campuchia Khmer ai thêm kia đông xoay pa nhà nhiều bài sẽ tinh sông cung ăn hồng xa sẽ quạt lại la chi đẹp hiếm rùng rương đầy dương tu dương khô khó dương Khmer trong lan sông cương chiến khai ra bao ngọt ở trong đầu âm na chun ra chia đang bay Campuchia rung rung xem san
And hello, thank you for joining our show. My name is Linda Wu. Today is February 7, 2023. I hope you have a good day today, or good morning, or good evening, wherever you at. I am broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California. Again, welcome and thank you for being here. Thank you for joining our show. We have a really good update today. So our topic would be monthly update, and we try to do this either beginning of the month or the end of the month. And with I'm going to call her my co-host. She's not my guest today. So she's great, and just want to let you know, my voice is still scratchy, but I will try my best to sound less scratchy and sound more cheerful. So hopefully you can understand what I'm saying. Beside that, hope the month of January was great for you. I hope so. We are second month into 2023. Again, thank you for being here and thank you for joining our show. Again, this show is under CNRP America. This show called Khmer Youth Voices for Justice. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to speak Khmer today. Our show is in English. So if you are learning English or you know English, please put in the comment and also tune in and put in your input while we discuss all this topic. So unfortunately, today is only English speaking. Our show, we have for 6 days per week in Khmer with different hosts. So please tune in different topics as well. We have a whole team working under CNRP America for this show, and we always get a respectable guest, respectable host, very respectable speaking either Khmer or English, and no word that you shouldn't hiding from children. So hopefully you enjoy our show today. Let's bring her out. Her name is Brittany Baker. She's is a teacher, and she's always have her smiling face, and she is one of the person that I consider friends. So let's call her out. Let's bring her out. Her name is Brittany Baker. So Brittany,
Bong.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you. How's Ohio?
Ohio is good. It was actually pretty warm today, so thankful for that.
Oh, great. Last week, the great, what is it? The little animal that come out with the thing that
the groundhog.
What is it?
Groundhog.
Oh, that's right. The groundhogs. I think his forecast only 6 more weeks than last week. So now 5 more weeks of winter. So you're looking at getting closer to spring.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Thank you, Brittany, for being here. Also for always giving you input. And like I said, she's not a guest today. She's going to be my co-host. So we're doing this either beginning of the month or the end of the month. We want to give a monthly update, what's going on. So thank you, Brittany, for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity again.
Anything you want to share with our audience before we do the update?
I guess my first thought goes to the people in Turkey and Syria who are suffering after a massive earthquake. And I recently spent some time in Turkey, so I'm just especially concerned about the people there that I really had a great time with, and very, very great country. So I just want to give some awareness and recognition to the people that are recovering, hopefully finding more people as they sift through the rubble. So that's kind of where my heart is right now, thinking about what's happening in Turkey and Syria.
Yeah, it's devastating. The earthquake was I believe like a 7.8 earthquake, but the devastating and the building it's so we are thinking of people in Turkey, people that are affected by this earthquake. I know California have earthquake, but we have different building, we have different structure, and it does not equal that magnitude of destructions, and I guess that's Mother Nature destruction. So our thought and prayer to the people in, like Namin said, Turkey and Syria. So we're thinking about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, our audience is very sad. Our topic, we monthly update. This one is a really good feeling, a hot feel, like good topic, good feeling. We are talking about the Teacher Association. What they did was they have a pilgrimage. They are walking from Phnom Penh to Posat, calling for morality in the country. So they start with 50 people. They gather in Phnom Penh on the 1st, so February 1st. So they march on the national street, and from February 1st to February 7th, so it took them 7 days. So the march is a non-violent activity to encourage everyone to participate and promote social morality. So the march, organized by Cambodian Independent Teacher Associations, actually led by union leader Ron Chun. So he is recently joining the Candlelight Party. So his group is walking from Phnom Penh to Posat for 7 days. And I'm not sure you have seen or our audience have read anything about this. obstacle from Phnom Penh to Posat. Obstacle finding a place to sleep, especially. They wasn't looking for any home to bother people. They were just looking to have a place to sleep in the temple. But unfortunately, many temples have turned them down. And fortunately, many of the villagers were so kind to provide them with a place to sleep for the last 7 days. So every last 7 days, I'm not sure you're aware, Brittany, or our audience are aware that it's not just because many people looking at it as a political march versus more morality march. So Brittany, any input regarding that? Introduce to our audience what's going on for the last 7 days.
Yeah, I have been following this social justice march and really admire the people that came from all over Cambodia. And I believe there would have been many more than 50 people if the ministry hadn't restricted the number of marchers. And really encouraged by their bravery to walk along that road. It's a road I know very well, so I'm happy that, with the exception of some foot injuries and things like that, that people remained relatively safe while traveling that long distance from Phnom Penh to Posat. It's an act of symbolizing a lot of courage and a lot of dedication from people. And as you can see here in this video, young people, older people, middle-aged people all came together to show their support and to remind people about the political prisoners and, as you said, to boost the morality throughout the country leading up to the national election. So it was very encouraging to see people of all ages coming together for this. Monks, teachers, supporters, people from all walks of lives coming together for this social justice march.
I just want to let our audience know the video. I didn't put any sound on. So they were marching from Phnom Penh to Posat, and where they are. The end, they was ending at Posat, where it's called Ta Klang Mueang statue, where they went and pray. But like you said, obstacle at the very end as well, where they were praying. There's a lot of people joining, I believe over 150 people. But the authority arrest them because it's more than the 50 people that they anticipated. One of the questions that I read from different side of this march. Is it necessary to have this march, Brittany?
Yeah, good question. I think it is necessary, and it's the right of the people to demonstrate peacefully. This school year, we, the teachers, on our behalf, the union, were negotiating with the school district, and we couldn't come to an agreement about the contract. So a majority of the teachers within our union decided to go on strike. And we did something similar. We didn't do a long distance march like this, but we marched around our individual schools, around the neighborhood, and we had flags and banners and signs, and it was a very open public display, which has a really powerful message. And people who aren't necessarily aware of the issues become aware of the issues because of the attention that's drawn because of a march of this size with flags and things like that. So it's very powerful. And again, it's the right of the people to come together and demonstrate. This was a peaceful demonstration, and they had all of the government permission to come together and demonstrate in this way.
Now the big questions: does Cambodia need to boost morality? What's wrong with Cambodia? Why the teachers marching? The other side doesn't see any point of doing this, even though you said it's beneficial. being in union and stuff, but now talking about from a kid perspective, from a teacher perspective, will it boost morality?
It will boost morality because not only are the teachers represented here, but also the Friday women are represented and pulling together their needs. And then also the other activist group, the Khmer Tabarak, were also involved here. And their activists are all coming together and collaborating. So it sends a message very deep into different pockets of the civil society. And they all have overlapping concerns, right? They're looking for justice. They're looking for human rights protections. They're looking for the release of political prisoners. They're looking for the government to protect the land of Cambodia. Many of the activists here have been long concerned about infringement around the borders. So this march, the social justice march, is the culmination of many different groups and many different people that are expressing the same concerns.
Thank you, Brittany. Let's listen to it in a bit. I just let our audience know it's going to be in Khmer, and Brittany and I, if it's important section, we will translate, because I know Mr. Ronchun going to speak the end of this. And just to let you know, this is not my video. This is my RFA Khmer video. So we have to give credit to them. Again, it's not my video. So let me see.
របស់ខ្លួនលោកក៏ជំរុញឲ្យថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំប្រទេសអ្នកនយោបាយត្រូវមានសិលធម៌ខ្ពស់ដើម្បីធ្វើជាគំរូដល់យុវជនជំនាន់ក្រោយ យើងនាំគ្នាខ្លាចចឹងគេយកអាចំណុចហ្នឹងយកមកបន្លាចយើងដូច្នេះយើងកុំខ្លាចពាក្យនយោបាយជលពាក្យនយោបាយពីព្រោះយើងទាំងអស់គ្នាត្រូវបានច្បាប់រដ្ឋធម្មនុញ្ញធានាដូច្នេះយើងមានសិទ្ធិក្នុងការមកចូលរួមប្រារព្ធពិធីក្នុងការចូលរួមហែកពូនក្នុងការចូលរួមសម្រេចចិត្តបោះឆ្នោត ការដើរដង្ហែក្បួនធម្មយាត្រាដើម្បីលើកកម្ពស់សិលធម៌សង្គមដែលដឹកនាំដោយសមាគមគ្រូបង្រៀនកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យបានចាប់ផ្ដើមតាំងពីថ្ងៃទី 1 ខែកុម្ភៈមកហើយតែងប្រឈមនឹងឧបសគ្គនិងការរារាំងពីអាជ្ញាធរជាបន្តបន្ទាប់នៅតាមដងផ្លូវដូចជាហាមមិនឲ្យពួកគាត់ចូលសម្រាប់បរិភោគអាហារនិងស្នាក់នៅពេលយប់នៅតាមវត្តអារាមសាលារៀនឬកន្លែងសាធារណៈជាដើមក្បួនធម្មយាត្រាបានបិទបញ្ចប់បន្ទាប់ពីទីប្រឹក្សាសមាគមគ្រូបង្រៀនកម្ពុជាឯករាជ្យលោករងឈុនថ្លែងសាររំលឹកឡើងវិញពីគោលបំណងនៃធម្មយាត្រានិងបួងសួងឲ្យព្រលឹងអ្នកតាឃ្លាំងមឿងនិងព្រលឹងពុព្វបរោះដែលបានពលីជីវិតក្នុងពុព្វហេតុការពារប្រទេសជាតិឲ្យបន្ទន់អេរិយាប័ត្រអ្នកនយោបាយថ្នាក់ដឹកនាំប្រទេសនិងប្រជាពលរដ្ឋទូទៅគ្រប់មជ្ឈដ្ឋានឲ្យចេះចែករំលែកក្តីស្រឡាញ់ឲ្យគ្នានិងផ្ដល់ការអធ្យាស្រ័យឲ្យគ្នាដើម្បីកសាងជាតិឲ្យរឹងមាំឡើងវិញខ្ញុំថាថៃពីទីក្រុងមែលប៊ន
Anything you want to translate for our audience?
Yeah, I think it's a message that we've heard several times before about despite the difficulties and the obstacles to don't be afraid. Don't let the threats and the fear prevent you from being engaged. We all have the right to be here. We have the right to demonstrate. We have the right to express our needs. We have the right to vote freely according to our own free will.
Thank you, Brittany. I just want to let our audience know that Brittany she does understand Khmer and can speak Khmer fluently. Yes, mostly what Ronchun said is those are guaranteed under our constitutional rights in Cambodia constitutional. And most importantly, don't be afraid. That's what he keeps saying. Don't be afraid. So, as a teacher, Brittany, I went to Cambodia. For a kid, it's hard to understand when surrounding. There's so many things surrounding that you can see, you can hear. And one of the concern that I can hear people said is there's advertisement. there's liquor advertisement, there are beer advertisement all over the place. Is that something you would boost morality as a country?
No, I don't see how that would boost morality. I don't see how a prime minister drinking that beer publicly and promoting that beer would boost morality. I think it actually contributes to the traffic accidents and domestic violence that we see very common in Cambodia. So I definitely think some morality needs to be boosted, and positive messages such as a social justice march like this that brings together many people has a lot of merit and a lot of benefit for the people.
How about the language that I guess the regime is talking about? Everybody is have potty mouth on TV, coming out for 2-3 hours talking not so nice about other oppositions and also the authority as well. When I'm not sure the last time you in Cambodia, I'm not sure you noticed how class, the rich versus the poor, the plenty who have plenty looking down at people who doesn't have any, instead of helping. And it just a lot of that. I'm not sure you noticed, but I do notice that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a huge disparity within Cambodia, and then you also bring up the good point about the so-called leaders who are responsible for promoting and keeping up the morality of the people, especially during and after a 3-year pandemic. I would say that's one of the top priorities of a government. But just last week, the Hun Sen said that he would use sticks. He was promoting physical violence, use sticks on people, anyone who's dissenting, anyone who dares to say anything about the CPP. So he's promoting violence and weaponizing the courts and lawyers to monitor any dissenting voices, any speeches that might be seen as in opposition to Hun Sen or CPP. So promoting violence and negative messaging and using foul language, as you said, coupled with the advertisements for beer, which is all over the country, are definitely cause for concern. But whereas when teachers and activists and environmentalists want to come together to march, that is considered a threat, incitement. It's heavily restricted by the government, heavily restricted throughout the country by those temples that wouldn't welcome them in. So that's a huge morality issue. Oh, your microphone's off.
Oh, I cannot say anything again. So it is important that this march happened, even though there's 50 people that joining and the obstacle all the way. And I'm glad that they made it from Phnom Penh to Posat in 7 days. And it is good to have somebody's there to remind them. Not everybody acted like the prime minister who have using abusive language, and the country that promoted beer versus water and how can they promote water when some province that couldn't even have drinking water? So and thank you, Brittany, for that. Anything you want to add regarding the topic? It's a feel good topic before we go into go to the next one.
No, I just again I just want to express my admiration for the people who sacrificed to participate in this march. It's as you said, it's a feel good sort of morale booster that is much needed, of course, in Cambodia, but also outside of Cambodia too. The people that are following these issues and the people that are supportive of the activists and the teachers and the union and the people that are walking hundreds of miles.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a feel good stories all around. Our next topic, it's also good, except that she's, I guess we can say we talk, Ronchun is a union leader. Now we're going to another union leader. She is the labor union leader on February 1st, which is the same day where they start the march, but this one on February 1st. The labor union leader who is currently in jail right now, Sita Chim, is one of the 10 recipients around the globe for Human Rights Defender Award. You heard anything about that?
I have, and it's exciting. I know we've talked many times on your show about the strike at Naga World that's been going on for well over a year now, and the strong leaders, including Sitar, who have been at the front lines and have really faced a lot of opposition and imprisonment and a lot of threats and violence and things like that. So I'm so excited to see that she was awarded this. And it's a very prestigious award. So I'm happy that the United States recognized her, that the U.S. Embassy in Cambodia has been following this issue. And the ambassador, Patrick Murphy, had a lot of really great things to say too.
Let me see. Try to open it up. Okay, it can open. Yeah, she, let me see. She is the Labor Rights Supported Union of Khmer employee at the Naga Resort and Casino. So I'm sure our audience know who she is. Listen, Brittany and I probably drill on this topic almost every other week. Since late 2021, Ms. Sita have lead the Naga World employee in a peaceful strike calling for a higher wage and reinstatement of hundreds of union members who believe they were unjustly fired, including a dozen union leaders who now they are facing criminal charges due to the strike. So she is currently in jail. She is not able to get out and accept this. And Brittany said it, prestigious award. She's the first Cambodian to actually getting this award. And it's not something that it's something that it's not for you. It's not for yourself. It's something you do for other people to defend yourself. It's not something that I don't think she wasn't planning in her life to even like, oh, I'm going to defend anybody. But, it's when it's unfair situation, when all of us are faced with unfair situation, we have to stand up and rise and, not just for ourselves. I'm sure Brittany would say the same thing, not just for ourselves, but also to stand up for what is right.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add, Brittany, regarding her?
I would also just add that this underscores the in terms of the foreign policy plan of the United States and the history of U.S. foreign policy, especially as it pertains to Cambodia and the region. It underscores the importance of human rights defenders and having a strong civil society and people like Sitar who are at the front lines of labor rights and calling attention when there are injustices in the work field in Cambodia. So it underscores the importance of that in U.S. foreign policy. So hopefully it's another hopeful moment because I know a lot of people are struggling and a lot of activists have been engaged in these issues for years and years. So hopefully it's indicates that the United States does care about these issues. The U.S. Embassy in Cambodia is aware of these issues, and it's not falling on deaf ears.
I have this is in last year, but I want our audience. I just want to remind our audience what they did, why are they on strike, and who in the front of that strike. It's many young women, very young women, like Chamsita herself. So let me play a little bit of that video, and then we can continue on and talk.
Even though I don't want to be imprisoned, but there's no other choice. We will lose our union and working rights at workplace.
It's really undermining the freedom of association. If Naga World can dismiss those union leaders as shop stewards, any other employers can do the same. The key demands for the union, one is the reinstatement of union leaders. Secondly is paying proper legal compensations of their servants for the mass layoff.
ខ្ញុំសូមសំណូមពរឲ្យក្រុមហ៊ុន Nagavel មេត្តាចេញមកចរចាដោះស្រាយហើយនឹងសូមបលែងអ្នកស្រីប្រធានខ្ញុំដើម្បីមកចរចាបើមិនចេញមកចរចាជាមួយអ្នកស្រីប្រធានខ្ញុំទេពួកគាត់ទាំងអស់នឹងឈរនៅទីនេះ
តាមរយៈនីតិវិធីច្បាប់ទៅពាក់ព័ន្ធទៅនឹងករណីក្រុមបុគ្គលដែលជាមេខ្លោចក្នុងការប្រព្រឹត្តនៅសកម្មភាពញុះញង់បង្កភាពអវត្តធ្ងន់ធ្ងរដល់សន្តិសុខសង្គម
We have complete all the requirements by law. It's the last resort. It's the last resort, and it's the failure of Naga World management.
ឯពួកខ្ញុំមកទីនេះគឺគ្រាន់តែដើម្បីទាមទារដើម្បីក្រពះដើម្បីឆ្នាំងបាយឲ្យមានស្ថិរភាពនៅក្នុងក្រុមហ៊ុនមួយនេះ
That's some of the sorry, it went to the next video. That's some of the what happened since I believe December 2021. So it dragged on over years now, and still no resolution. There's no solution at all. And since then, many obstacles. They are, charged with incitement, charged with going against the regime. So the regime is not calling Naga World to solve the issue, to solve this strike, but instead, the lady been arrested, the lady been kicked, and many of them over, I believe probably over, almost of them now is how a court case that, preventing them from going out the country. And she is one of the reasons she in jail because she was arrested and one of her condition is not to go out the country. But the problem is nobody tell her that she's not allowed, and she went into Australia, and when she came back she got arrested. If you were to do your job correctly, she wouldn't have to be able to leave the country in the first place. But so she is currently in jail and she's not able to accept this award. So what do you want to add to that, Brittany?
I think it's that video is a visual reminder about the regime's tactics to use incitement, just incitement charges for everyone, incitement, despite really whatever you're doing, it's just trumped up incitement charges, whether you're just getting people together to protest because your manager at the casino isn't paying proper wages, they're not coming to the table to negotiate, or whether you share something on Facebook, or whether you share something on Telegram or WhatsApp. Just incitement charges are used by anyone that has any dissenting messages about the regime. So I think this human rights defender award is at the perfect time, again, to boost morale and also to remind the Cambodian government and all people in Cambodia about the United States importance and the importance of honoring the human rights defenders. So I'm really thankful that this award was finally given to someone in Cambodia, and there's no one that's more deserving than her.
Thank you, Brittany. I'm going to quote the message from U.S. Ambassador to Cambodia, Patrick Murphy. He said, "We applaud Ms. Sita recognitions as a 2022 human rights defender. She is a courageous and tenacious labor union leader who peacefully advocates for the rights of Cambodian workers." So protecting and end quote. So say protecting from the embassy, it say protecting and supporting human rights defender is a key priority of U.S. foreign policy. The U.S. Embassy in Cambodia congratulate Ms. Sita and all recipient of the 2022 Human Rights Defender Award. So we are talking about this, and it's it's congratulations to her. It just unfortunately she's in jail. I believe there's no date on her case yet. I said she November 2022, she allegedly violated her bail by traveling to Australia for a trade union conference. So since November, she's still in jail. So unfortunately, it's a good thing that she received. Another bad thing is not just one bad thing. The thing she's in jail, all people that are around her have been arrested, also been kicked, been shoved, arrested because it was against the law to protest. It was against the law to, you instead of telling the Naga to come down and negotiate, the authorities arresting the people that are on strike. So that's very an unfortunate situations. And the regime close eye on this, does not say, hey, you need to come down and do this. What could it be, Brittany? Is it hitting their pocket that much that they cannot even come down to negotiate? About like how many strike, and they are making billion and billion a dollar.
Right. Well, yeah, good question. I mean, I don't think you can really reason with them because they're not moral people. They're not honest people. So it's kind of hard for us to comprehend why they wouldn't come to the table and negotiate to prevent the strike. The demands of the workers were not unreasonable. I just think they're shitty managers who don't care about the workers. Most of the workers are younger people. Most of them are women who have a lot of family responsibilities, and the company knows they can continue to treat them like crap, and so that's what they did, and they see the workers as replaceable, and the government doesn't have any. The government wasn't backing the workers and still are not backing the workers. So this foreign company had a lot of support by the government, whether through inaction to help the workers, or whether direct support to help the NAGA officials.
How about this, Brittany? The Cambodian Ministry of Foreign Affairs did not say her name, but they are baffled that the award was given to a law-breaking person in Cambodia. A ministry spokesperson said an honor actually recognized advocate for, among other, peace, national harmony, and reconciliation, disarmament. So they are like, I'm reading this at the same time as you're talking. She's a law-breaking citizen to them, and they are not. They are baffled that she's received this honorary award.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that?
Yeah, and I mean, they said a similar thing about Singh Terry when they sentenced her to 6 years in prison due to some Facebook posts that she is a law-breaking citizen. She's inciting violence, inciting people to be concerned about these issues. So anyone who has who dares to speak out and to demand better conditions and to collaborate, come together with a union and build coalitions with workers. Any of those people are targeted by the regime under this massively used, trumped up incitement charges.
America is a country that everyone in Cambodia want to come to. How do they expect to come to a country that giving a what to a lawbreaker? It's unfortunate situations.
Yeah, but it's funny because the Minister of Agriculture and other ministers in Cambodia were standing up for and demanding the release of the one official who was
monkey business.
Yeah, the monkey business trafficker, the person who was responsible for attempting to bring in a bunch of endangered monkeys into the United States, a Cambodian government official, quote unquote government official, and no one from the regime called him a lawbreaker, and they demanded his release. And I can't imagine how much money was poured into lobbying for his release. Yet he's not a lawbreaker, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, he's for somebody who Brittany, who's somebody who's cares so much about animal. It's unspeakable that they're supposed to breed this type of monkey, but instead the demand is so high during COVID for that they pulling this from a wild and coming to America. The numbers so spike. But anyhow, he's not a lawbreaker, like Brittany said, or like the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. He's not a lawbreaker, but he just out here whereabout wearing I believe ankle bracelet in West Virginia somewhere right now, and he is not allowed to go back to Cambodia because he's standing trial right now. So unfortunately, he's not a lawbreaker, but someone who stand there peacefully protest, someone out there demand a fair share of their pay, fair share of respect from the union, and it's a lawbreaker. So that's the situation in Cambodia right now. Before we leave, anything you want to add regarding her? What we are excited, we are honored to how it under different circumstances. We would really, we're still excited, but we want her to be out of jail. We demand that they release her. All she does is protect the right of the union worker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree.
I know it's heartbreaking. Another heartbreaking story coming up. Okay, we move on. I think we can talk about one more. You all know that we are standing in solidarity with all the people in ASEAN. Another topic, I guess it's all happened on February 1st. The 2 years since the military coup in Myanmar. So since then, political, economic, humanitarian crisis, it's not improving. It's just growing worse. So according to the number, I'm not sure that number even correct. 3,000 killed, nearly 17,000 detained, and more than 1.5 million people displaced, meaning moved out of Myanmar.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Do you recall what happened, Brittany, 2 years ago and still going on right now?
I do. It was a military It was a coup of the democratically elected Aung San Suu Kyi, who the people using their free will and democracy have voted for her. And 2 years ago, a coup took place throughout Myanmar, despite protests throughout the country, and despite again what the people through a democratic election expressed. So the true leader of Burma, of Myanmar, Aung San Suu Kyi, was imprisoned, and she already has a long history of being in prison and under house arrest. And I think now her prison sentence is up to 30 some years under, again, these trumped up corruption and incitement charges. And shortly after the coup, many Asian leaders came out very strongly and talked about the coup and talked about how it brings destabilizing consequences to the entire region.
Do you remember the head of the ASEAN trying to mingle into their business?
Yes. Yeah, actually, Hun Sen went to meet with these unofficial leaders, the coup leaders, as on a peace mission. He thought he was that he had some special power to meet with these people who overthrew the government. And I will never forget the people of Burma at that time, as you see here in these videos, coming out to the streets to protest, to try to fight for Aung San Suu Kyi and for democracy to come back to their country. And I'll never forget how they, the people of Burma, expressly told Hun Sen, "You are not welcome here. Please don't step foot here. We don't want one corrupt leader meeting with another corrupt leader. Neither of you are welcome here." They considered Hun Sen equal to the coup dictators that overthrew the democratically elected leaders of Burma.
Yeah, just the idea, just the fact that he went to Myanmar, it just legitimized the military leader, and that's just so shameful to use that position instead of to improve Myanmar. It's not improving. So now last year was only 1 year, so he should have used his position as the ASEAN leader to help solve the issue, putting Min Aung Hlaing, straight up. But instead of tightening the rope on them, he is using his ability for his win-win policy that he used for peace to try to solve that issue by straight down there. And that's just not something that Myanmar people are not happy about that. And he's not listening to our people. He's not listening to Myanmar people. He's just listening to himself and the military leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was very divisive amongst the ASEAN countries, because last year was the rotation for Cambodia to have the chairmanship, the chair position within ASEAN. And so he assumed this sort of powerful position, and he had the opportunity to stand with the other ASEAN countries who were very direct about this coup, this military coup in Burma. But instead, after Hun Sen left, conditions worsened in Burma, and Aung San Suu Kyi got even more years added to her prison sentence. And also there were bombs dropped. And up until a recent article I read said that nearly 13 13,000 people associated with the pro-democracy movement are still detained. And this, I believe these are low numbers. I'm sure it's much higher than that, if not double than that. I don't have too much faith because a lot of much like Cambodia, a lot of the independent journalism has been severely suppressed in Burma. And there have been thousands of people that have been killed. And there is a huge shift of, particularly there's a lot of fighting still going on and bombs being dropped in the Chin state, which I've had the chance to visit twice. So another place that is very special to me. But there are hundreds of refugees fleeing the Chin state in northwest Burma, fleeing into India as the coup leaders continue to heavily bombard the people in the Chin state because they're fighting back. The Chin resistance army are fighting back, and one of the guest here a little bit ago said something about the admiring the bravery, the courage of the people in Myanmar, and I just really want to echo that. And we see a lot of that in Cambodia too with the recent social justice march. But I'm really just feel very proud of the people in Myanmar who have been fighting for 2 years. They've had to change their tactics a little bit, and on the 2-year anniversary, for lack of a better word, of the coup overthrow, all of or majority of the people in Burma stayed inside that day. They didn't give their money to the government by going to the tea shops or by going out and riding on the buses and things like that. So that's another form of protest that the Burmese people are using now to send a very strong message to the coup leaders.
During the video, I did not see a lot of brutality, but in reality, the report from different news outlets each day or every other day, I would see home or village got burned down, and people are killed. So for the last 2 years, it's not rest. Myanmar have been in chaos, and the resistance movement fighting the military on multiple fronts. So it's bloodshed, crackdown, and one of last year when we're talking about Hun Sen as a Asian lead, the thing that ASEAN country is holding themselves is that they have a law where not to mingle in other country business, and that need to change. And according to me, I really, if I am somebody in a country, I want other country to mingle in my business to help out, because you see a lot of people are suffering. Myanmar and also in Cambodia, human rights issues happening all the time, every single day, and I would like other people to mingle, to come and mingle. What's your take on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good question. I would have to think about that more. I understand the importance of I understand the history of having a non-interference policy. But what we saw last year under Hun Sen's chairmanship was pretty concerning, because there was a fractured ASEAN. So
that was mingling as well, mingling on other people's business where their people don't want you to be mingling or meeting each other, but he went and mingled. That is mingling.
Yeah, it's beyond mingling. It's interference. And I think there needs to be. We'll see. We'll have to see this year how it is with Indonesia as the chair leader for this year in terms of interference or having a stronger collaboration ability, because it's still needed. There was no progress made last year. Actually, I think there was a step back from progress that was made because of Hun Sen's 2 visits to Burma in terms of addressing the atrocities that continue to happen there. So whether it's interference or non-interference or collaboration or however that might look, I'm hopeful that this year will bring some justice and peace to Burma. And again, I just want to say that I'm so admiring of the bravery and the courage that the people of Burma have had sustained for 2 years.
Thank you, Brittany. I feel the same way, and it's like a country at war, and it just keeps going and going. And now the military leader extended the emergency ruling. Oh, how nice of them! They extended without voting, so they are extending another 6 months. But I don't see an end to it. I'm just hopeful that Indonesia, they are currently, like you said, an Asian chairmanship, will be able to hold tight and stand still and stand firm regarding Myanmar. So hopefully there are solutions coming up soon, because Hun Sen did nothing beside taking one step forward and moving a million steps back regarding Myanmar. So on that note, there's a 3 things that update, and all happened on February 1st. I did not even plan this, but so it's all happened as I guess anniversary or anything. So like I said, our first story about Mr. Runchun pilgrim march from Phnom Penh to Posat, it's necessary and it's encouraging. So hopefully he put together another march where more people can join, because we do need that. We do need a reminder that there are good people out there. There are people that believe in morality. People believe that leadership should lead, and leadership should be an example, not just somebody who go out there and use cuss word for the last 2-3 hours when he has the microphone. So we hopeful that there's another march, and hopeful that we know it's very benefiting. Brittany and I said the same thing. We are grateful that Chimsita got her award. Hopefully, again, hopeful that she's out of jail soon. Hopefully, it showed she's not the only one. She's not the only one that looking in through Cambodia and see there's human right violations. There are abuses regarding Naga worker, and they standing out the what's showing that they are standing by her, standing with her. So, and Myanmar, again, hopeful regarding Indonesians as a chairmanship. Anything for our audience? We are way at the end of our show.
No, I think you gave a good summary. We'll continue following these issues. I'm hopeful about the Social Justice March. I'm hopeful about the Human Rights Defenders Award that was given to the first Cambodian, a young woman. I'm hopeful for some strategic steps to be taken to some swift strategic steps to be taken to remedy some of the disasters that we've been seeing in Burma for the last couple of years. And I'll just end with the message that we heard earlier was to don't be afraid. So I think we've heard that time and time again from activists, to don't be afraid, to remember why we're doing this, why everyone's doing this. And yeah, I think that's it. We'll keep following these issues.
Well, thank you, Brittany, for being here.
Welcome.
I appreciate it. See you by the end of the month, or maybe in beginning of next month. But
Yeah.
hopefully we bring you here to be my co-host regarding an update. So it's really good summary of what's going on basically just last week. It's not even a month. So thank you so much, Brittany, for being here.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much for joining our show. We are at the end, and our topic for today is like Monday update. Each month, Brittany and I bring interesting topic. It just happened that today we're talking about all the events that happened on February 1st. So, and I am, like I said, Brittany said, we are hopeful. We are hopeful that the march will boost morality in Cambodia. The people of Cambodia are very generous, and hopefully that will morale is something that we need, because on TV it's not an example. On TV, the leadership is not an example at all. So we are hopeful, and we are hopeful that Chimsita will be released from prison soon to hold her award, and looking for a solution to Myanmar as well, because we stand with democracy, and we stand in solidarity with our Myanmar people. So, in that note, sorry, my throat is drying, so I'm gonna end right there. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a good evening, and hopefully, I will be better to talk to you, be on the show again next week. So please be safe, please be proactive, please use your voice for people that could not use their voice. So please stand and be an advocate for the weak. So thank you and good night.